Hi everyone, Leena here with School of Love. Today I'm going to share a bit of my own story with you on saving myself for marriage and making that choice, and really about why I did it and how I did it. Part two, another video will be on was it worth it? What's it like waiting? So yeah, for me, I did choose that path of waiting until marriage, and I just wanted to share kind of why I did and some tips and tricks I learned and how to achieve that goal in really hard times. And yeah, also I just want to put out there that if you haven't done that or made that choice, you've been on a different path in your life, maybe you've already had sex or been intimate, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to make anyone feel guilty for anything that they've gone through. We're all on our different paths and journeys in life, and I just want to share really my story of why I did wait and how it was worth it. So I hope to bring you inspiration wherever you're at in your journey. You can also always recommit. There's something called born again virginity. If that is something you would like to consider, then you could watch this video as well. So I'm taking myself back to junior high school. That's for me, I guess when the temptations really started. I chose not to date at all in order to save myself for marriage. And as you can imagine, not dating is not the easiest thing. So for me, junior high is when I had my first real crush in like third grade or something. But junior high for me is when it became the most challenging, because it's completely natural and God-given to have desires. It's completely natural to daydream in class, to think about someone. That's a lot of our teenage years. And yeah, I was flirtatious. I had desires as well, and it was hard to follow these. In a sense, it almost felt like rules at first, but I really wanted to make it my own. So for me, what helped me was I had to find my own reason. I couldn't just follow teachings of my faith or my church or what other people told me. I had to be my own reason. So that's what I would say is number one in your journey to saving yourself for marriage. Is number one is just you have to have your own reason, no one else's reason, your own reason. And I really took a good year to find that. I actually studied abroad in Korea with a cultural program where I really focused that year on my faith, my beliefs, and studied another language and culture and met a lot of awesome people. But for me, during that year was the time that I could really find my own reason to want to stay pure and commit to that reason. I think a big part of my reason for me is connected to my faith and just feeling that God is the one who designed us, and I feel that that is the way God designed us to live our life. So it's like, if God created you, then why not follow his plans, right? Then that'll bring you the most joy. Also, I was thinking about my future spouse, and really, I think what motivated me is believing that he's somewhere out there and he's also waiting for me, which I know is hard to do because you don't know who they are and where they are and what they're doing in life. But yeah, I felt that waiting would be worth it to just have that first love with my future spouse, and for us to connect on that deep, intimate level, newly and fresh, just with each other. I thought that was really beautiful and a really great foundation to start a marriage on, and just a really great commitment. Yeah, so for me, those are definitely some of the reasons. And so once I found my own personal reason, it just made life much easier to choose that path. When I came back, I was in high school. I was in a new high school because of the weird way our boundaries were. And so I only knew a couple people. The first year was kind of hard. But again, I had my own reason. I really felt confident and committed and I guess excited to wait because I could understand the value for myself of why I wanted to wait. And so that helped me with a lot of the decisions I made in my lifestyle and my choices in high school. One thing I did that helped me was I wrote letters to my future spouse, which I know is like so super cheesy, but I just remember like in study hall, I would hear like the senior guys at my table talking about really sexual things that are not appropriate in high school, in my opinion, and just being like overwhelmed, and so I would just like get out a sheet of paper and write a letter. And I would actually express my desires in writing, like, oh, I can't wait to meet you and take a long walk on a sandy beach and kiss under the sunset. And so yeah, actually I saved all these letters and was able to give them to my husband when we got married, and it was kind of cute. But it really helped me to put all that love I had into something by writing. So I obviously did get married. I found this random picture in my office. It's from several years ago. But anyway, that's my husband, and we've now been blessed in marriage for 12 years. And in another video, I'll share more about why it was worth it, and that experience of going into marriage and going into that relationship without having had sex before. I'll share about that in another video. Another big thing for me is choosing the right environments and the right friends. I think is huge to support yourself in that journey. So I was able to find a really awesome group of friends. They also shared similar values. I think finding friends that have the same life goals and passions and dreams as values as you is super supportive. I would go to this youth group every Saturday night with them, and like our prayer group at school. But yeah, it was just a really great support system, and having healthy friendships with both guys and girls, like it was really neat because they truly felt just like friends, family. I didn't really grow up with brothers, so that was a really neat experience. And my parents trusted me. I was able to hang out with friends and go out, and they trusted me and they trusted my friends. I think that helped a lot. And I did have friends that were guys and friends that were girls, and we would hang out. But we all had similar values, so it was really great to like support each other in that. And drinking and drugs and like flirting wasn't so much a part of our scene, so that really supported me. And I'm so grateful because I just personally was barely ever tempted with those things, especially drinking and drugs, because of the people I hung out with that had similar values. And yeah, it was really awesome. And it was really awesome to see my friends like be so bold about their faith in school and still be a part of like the football team or the prom king and stuff like that, but really choose their values and stand up for them. Another thing I found was that once I chose to wait and chose to actually not even date, people just like respect you. Like people would ask me out and I would feel bad saying no, which you shouldn't feel bad, because in the long run, they really will be okay if you say no to someone. But in the moment, it's like really hard, right? And your heart just like is pulled, or you feel bad, like you're hurting their feelings. I remember once someone got me like a bunch of stuffed animals, and I think I gave them back, and I felt really bad. But like in the long run of life, it really will be okay. They will be okay. And after I said no to several people, I think people just kind of got the picture. And the more clear I became in who I was and my own boundaries and what I believed, it became easy. Actually, high school was so much fun because in junior high, I found myself really living like a double life, like being one person at home, one person at church, one person at school. Whereas in high school, I was really just able to embrace who God wants me to be, and I was able to just be the same person everywhere I went. I really strongly felt that, and it's so like liberating to just be yourself and not worry what people think about you, and just be the same person everywhere you go with the same values. So yeah, that was really awesome, and it really helped to have the right friends and to put myself in the right environments. I remember one time in junior high, I went to a party that I felt uncomfortable with. I actually didn't know what kind of party it would be, but yeah, I felt uncomfortable in that situation. So I realized that if you're ever in a situation where you feel uncomfortable for any reason, like, leave if you can, or just put up your own boundaries when you're there, but also just don't put yourself in that environment again. It's just like really obvious. I know if you've been in an environment for a while and been going to parties or things, like it'll be a harder choice to just not go into it again. But so it's easier if once you go somewhere or put yourself in a situation you're not comfortable in, if you choose not to do it again, it's easier to like disconnect from it. But if you've been doing it a while, then sometimes you have to make that hard choice of like, as we grow up, friends we grew up with, their values might change, their beliefs might change, our lifestyle might change, and like to still be friends with them, but maybe find other friends or other hobbies or other sports that can really lift you up and support you in your values. And boundaries, creating boundaries, knowing your own boundaries is important. So I was totally fine to hug my friends and like just see them as a friend. If that's something that's like uncomfortable for you, I know people talk about like the side hug, or I don't know, different things you can do. And again, it was just so fun to be able to have friends and hang out and have a good time and not worry and not be embarrassed about being different or something, but just really being proud of who I am, and having friends to go through that with was really awesome. Another thing I want to mention that's super important in your journey is believing in your true love story. I know friends who've shared with me like, Leena, I could never have what you have because I've messed up or I've made mistakes. And that really breaks my heart. I really don't believe that. I believe everyone is meant to have a beautiful true love story. Like that's all God wants for you, no matter where you've been in life. And I think one thing that helped me save myself was really believing in that I can have, that fairy tale ending, that true love story, believing that I'll be truly in love and happy, like having the faith that that's possible, I think also really helped me to save myself and look forward to that moment. And then also, while you're doing all these things, while you're putting yourself in the right environments, choosing your boundaries and your friends and believing in your story, the really great thing is you can focus on growing yourself, right? God asks us to really be fruitful before we multiply, right? Like literally. So growing ourselves, growing our talents, thinking about how we can contribute to this world in the future through our careers, our jobs, getting involved in school. For me, a big passion was dancing always. I loved dancing. Eventually, I got involved with like the student council. I became vice president, and that was a lot of fun. I remember my friends putting up posters like "Vote for Leena, the ballerina," and that was like really exciting for me because the beginning of high school I was really shy and unsure of myself. So to be able to get to that point was like a highlight for me. Just thinking back to high school, I know it's like your entire world and your friends, the things they say, your friendships like impact you so deeply, so much. I know sometimes you feel your parents can't understand or relate to because they see the bigger picture, whereas you see more like the moment you're in right now, and they're not in that moment obviously with you. But believe it or not, like your parents have been there and they have gone through their teenage years, it's just such a great time to grow yourself, your heart, contribute, volunteer, Become a person that can just love others unconditionally and not judge others that are different from you. Really working on yourself so that when you do find that person, when God leads you to that person, that you're working on not just finding the right person, but you're working on becoming the right person, right? So it's really a great time in waiting. It's a great time to work on your relationship with God, your relationship with your parents, your family, your friends, yourself, so that when you get ready to commit to your future person, that you're really at a point where you can give a lot. You've built yourself up, you've built up all that love, and you're ready to just give it out. Yeah, I think that's really beautiful. So that's what helped me to get there, and I look forward in another video to sharing more about meeting Jerio and creating our love story together. But I can't leave you with the total not knowing how it went. So I'll just share that saving myself was totally worth it. It was really awesome. When two people wait for each other and they save up all of that excitement and desire, it's incredible fireworks. All right, everyone, so that was sharing my reason and some tips and tricks and things that helped me to get there and to wait for my special someone. I will say it's been totally worth it for me in my life, but I'll definitely say that you do not need to have sex. You do not need to have experience in order to have a good love and sex life in your marriage. You get to practice as much as you want, anytime, any day, with your future spouse forever. So it's you'll get plenty of practice and you can learn and grow together. It's not something you really need to have practice in if you're worried about that. You get to grow and learn about each other and just create that experience together, which is really beautiful, I feel. So yeah, it was definitely worth it. I hope some of these tips and experiences from my life could help you and encourage you in some way. I thought this was cute. It was just sitting on my desk, so I thought I'd share it with you. It's a recent card I gave my husband for anniversary, and it says, "If happiness is a place, then our love is the way." So I just wanted to leave you on that. Know that someone is out there that is going to be your husband or your wife one day, and I just want to encourage you to keep following your dreams, your values, your beliefs. I really believe you're meant to be happy and in love and build a great family one day, and God will show you that person when it's the right time. And I just want to encourage you in your walk, in your decision, and just support you in waiting and saving yourself for marriage. It's not always easy, but just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is the most beautiful, exciting light that you'll experience one day. So thanks so much. Thanks for watching, and all the best on your journey.